The human colony of New Dawn, a patchwork of domes and tunnels on the barren exoplanet Ilaris 7, was humanity's farthest outpost in 2271. With only 3,000 souls, it was a speck in the galaxy, scraping by on hydroponic farms and recycled air. Then the Void Swarm came, a ravenous hive of biomechanical aliens, their ships like living meteors, consuming everything in their path. The swarm didn't negotiate, they devoured. New Dawn's distress call to Earth went unanswered, their comms jammed by the swarm's psychic static. They were alone, unarmed, and out of time. At the heart of the colony, Riley Callahan, a 35-year-old mechanic with a crooked grin and grease-stained hands, rallied the survivors. Rye wasn't a soldier, just a tinkerer who'd fixed everything from air scrubbers to her grandma's antique radio back on Earth. But she had a knack for making things work, and right now New Dawn needed a miracle. Her crew included Zara, a botanist who could coax crops from dust, Leo, a teenage coder with a knack for braking systems, and Tasha, a former miner who could lift a crate like it was a pillow. They weren't heroes, but they were human, and that was enough. The swarm's first wave hit at dawn, their spidery drones burrowing into the colony's outer domes. Without weapons, the colonists fought with tools. Welders, drills, even shovels. Rye led a team to seal a breached dome, welding steel plates, while Zara sprayed a makeshift sealant brewed from plant resin. "This stuff smells like my ex's cooking," Rye quipped, dodging a drone's claw. Tasha smashed it with a wrench, grinning. "Tastes worse too." Leo hunched over a scavenged terminal, hacked the colony's ancient weather satellites, turning their sensors into makeshift radar. "Swarm's got a mothership in orbit," he reported, his voice cracking with adrenaline. "It's coordinating the drones. If we take it out, we might slow them." Rye wiped sweat from her brow, her mind racing. New Dawn had no ships, no guns, but it had a fusion reactor, a relic from the colony's founding. "Leo, can you overclock that reactor to send a pulse? Fry their comms." Leo's eyes lit up. "Like an EMP? Risky, but doable. It'll burn out half our systems, though." Zara, tending a wounded colonist, chimed in. "Better fried than eaten. Do it." They worked through the night, rerouting power from the colony's life support to the reactor. Rye and Tasha crawled through maintenance tunnels, rewiring circuits under drone fire. Zara mixed a chemical smokescreen from fertilizer, blanketing the colony to hide their movements. By dawn, Leo's hack was ready. The reactor hummed, then roared, unleashing a pulse that fried every drone within a kilometer. The swarm's psychic static faltered, and the colonists cheered, but the mothership remained, its silhouette darkening the sky. The swarm adapted, sending larger, beetle-like drones that burrowed faster. Rye's team barricaded the central dome, using scrap metal and furniture. During a lull, Rye found an old audio system in storage, blasting Sweet Child, Oh Mine across the colony speakers. "If we're going down," she said, "let's do it with style." The music rallied the colonists, their fear giving way to defiance. But the mothership was the real threat. Leo's scans showed it was charging a bioplasma cannon, capable of vaporizing New Dawn. Rye had an insane idea. Use the colony's drilling rigs, designed for mining Ilaris 7's crust, to launch a counterattack. "We can't shoot them," she said, "but we can hit them with rocks." Tasha laughed. "You're nuts, Rye. I'm in." They repurposed the rigs to hurl tungsten rods, leftover mining supplies, at the mothership. Leo coded a targeting algorithm, using the satellites to guide the shots. Zara rigged the rods with chemical explosives from her lab, turning them into crude missiles. The first launch shook the colony, the rods streaking into orbit. One hit the mothership, denting its hull. The swarm retaliated, their drones breaching another dome. Rye's team fought to hold the line, but the colony was crumbling. "We need to get inside that mothership," Rye said, her voice steady. "Shut it down from the core." Zara shook her head. "No ships, no weapons." "How?" Rye grinned, holding up a scavenged drone husk. "We rebuild one of their own. Fly it right into their nest." The colony's machine shop became a war room, littered with drone parts and coffee cups. Rai, Tasha, Leo, and Zara worked feverishly to reverse engineer a captured swarm drone, its biomechanical shell pulsing faintly. Rai's hands moved like a surgeon's, splicing human tech with alien circuits. "This thing's half machine, half bug," she muttered. "Like my old pickup, but creepier." Leo, his fingers flying over a cracked tablet, decoded the drone's neural network. "It's got a hive link to the mothership. If I can spoof its signal, we can fly this thing without the swarm noticing." Zara, mixing a biolubricant to keep the drone's joints moving, added, "I've got a payload, corrosive spores for my lab. If we get this drone to the mothership's core, it'll eat through their systems like rust on steroids." Tasha, welding the drone's frame, grinned. "Let's give these bugs a taste of human pest control." The plan was reckless. Fly the rebuilt drone into the mothership, infiltrate its core, and detonate Zara's spores to cripple its systems. Rai would pilot it, using a jury-rigged VR rig to interface with the drone's controls. The others would defend the colony, buying her time. "If I don't make it," Rai said, "play Bohemian Rhapsody at my funeral." The swarm's drones kept coming, their claws tearing into the central dome. Tasha led a defense team, using repurposed mining lasers to carve through the attackers. Leo's hacked satellites jammed the swarm signals, slowing their coordination. Zara's smokescreens choked the air, giving the colonists cover. But the mothership's cannon was nearly charged, its glow visible through Alaris 7's thin atmosphere. Rai strapped into the VR rig, her mind linking to the drone. The sensation was like swimming in oil, alien, disorienting. But she gritted her teeth and powered through. The drone launched, cloaked by Leo's signal spoof, and streaked toward the mothership. Inside, Rai's vision swam with hive mind static, the swarm's collective consciousness brushing her thoughts. "Stay out of my head, bugs," she growled, focusing on the mission. The mothership loomed, a biomechanical nightmare of writhing tendrils and glowing ports. The drone slipped into a maintenance vent, its path lit by pulsing green ichor. Rai navigated tight tunnels, dodging automated defenses, spinning blades, and acid sprays. Zara's voice crackled over comms. "You're close to the core. Look for a pulsating node. That's their brain." Back at New Dawn, the swarm breached the central dome. Tasha fought hand-to-hand, smashing drones with a crowbar, while Leo's turrets fired until they overheated. Zara rigged a fertilizer bomb, blasting a wave of drones into scrap. The colonists held, but barely, their numbers dwindling. Rai reached the mothership's core, a cavernous chamber where a glowing, pulsating node thrummed with energy. She planted Zara's spore payload, setting a timer. 10 minutes to boom," she whispered, but the hive mind detected her. Drones swarmed, their claws tearing into her drone's hull. Rai juked and weaved, her VR rig sparking as the connection frayed. "Rai, get out," Leo shouted, his voice breaking. The mothership's defenses locked onto the drone, and a psychic pulse hit Rai's mind, nearly knocking her out. She clung to consciousness, blasting Sweet Child O' Mine through the drone's speakers to drown out the noise. "Not today, bugs," she snarled, piloting the drone back through the vent. The drone exploded just outside the mothership, its hull breached, but intact. The spore payload detonated, flooding the core with corrosive mist. The mothership's systems flickered, its cannon stalling. New Dawn's colonists cheered, but the swarm wasn't done. The mothership launched a final wave of drones, bigger and meaner, straight at the colony. Rai, back in her body, stumbled out of the VR rig, dizzy but alive. "We slowed them," she panted, "but we need to finish this." Tasha, bloodied but grinning, hefted a mining drill. "Then let's hit M with everything we've got." The mothership, crippled but not dead, hung over Alara, 7 like a wounded beast. Its drones, massive, centipede-like monstrosities, tore into New Dawn's last defenses. The central dome was a battlefield, colonists fighting with whatever they could grab: pipes, torches, even kitchen knives. Rai's team knew the spores had bought time, but the mothership's core was still active, regenerating. They had one shot left, a direct assault to destroy it for good. Rai gathered the survivors, her voice hoarse but steady. "We've got no weapons, no ships, no backup. But we've got will. That's enough." She outlined a desperate plan. Use the colony's last drilling rig to launch a manned payload, a cobbled-together capsule carrying Zara's strongest spores, and an EMP rigged from the reactor's remains. Someone had to pilot it into the mothership's core and detonate it manually. "I'm going," Rai said, strapping on a patched Enviro suit. Tasha protested, but Rai cut her off. "You're stronger than me, Tash. Hold the line here. Leo, Zara, get that capsule ready." Leo, his face pale, coded the capsule's guidance system, tears in his eyes. "You better come back, Rai. I'm not explaining this to your grandma's ghost." Zara packed the capsule with a bioweapon so potent it could melt steel, her hands shaking but precise. "This'll make those bugs wish they'd stayed home," she said. The colonists fought to protect the launch site, Tasha leading a charge with mining lasers and improvised bombs. The swarm's drones were relentless, their psychic static clawing at everyone's minds. Rai climbed into the capsule, a claustrophobic tin conwired with scrap tech, and blasted Bohemian Rhapsody through its speakers, a final middle finger to the swarm. "Let's rock," she said, launching into the void. The capsule streaked toward the mothership, guided by Leo's algorithm. The swarm's defenses locked on, firing bioplasma that scorched the hull. Rai juked, her hands steady from years of fixing finicky machines. The mothership's vent loomed, and she dove in, navigating the same tunnels as before. The hive mind screamed in her head, but she sang along to Queen, drowning it out. Back at New Dawn, the colony was collapsing. Tasha's team held the dome, but drones breached the hydroponic farms, destroying months of crops. Zara rigged a final smokescreen, giving the colonists cover, while Leo's turrets fired their last rounds. "Hold on, Rai," Leo whispered, watching the capsule signal. Rai reached the core, the node now scarred but pulsing defiantly. She armed the EMP and spores, setting a 5-minute timer. "Time to end this," she said, but the swarm had one last trick. A massive guardian drone, part machine, part nightmare, blocked her exit, its claws tearing into the capsule. Rai fought back, using the capsule's thrusters to ram it, sparks flying. The drone's psychic scream nearly broke her, but she clung to the music, to hope, to humanity's stubborn will. The timer hit 0. The EMP pulsed, frying the mothership systems, and the spores erupted, dissolving the core in a cloud of green mist. The mothership shuddered, its tendrils going limp, its glow fading. Rai's capsule, battered and leaking air, limped out of the vent as the ship began to implode. On Alara 7, the drones collapsed, their hive link severed. The colonists cheered, tears mixing with blood. Tasha, Zara, and Leo watched the sky as the mothership broke apart, debris burning up in the atmosphere. Rai's capsule crashed near the colony, its hull smoking. Tasha pried it open, finding Rai bruised but grinning. "Told you I'd make it," she coughed, clutching a shattered speaker still blaring Queen. New Dawn survived, its dome scarred but standing. Earth's fleets arrived days later, awestruck by the colony's defiance. Rai's team rebuilt, Zara's spores inspiring new biotech, Leo's code revolutionizing comms, and Tasha leading the colony's recovery. Rai went back to fixing things, her wrench always close. The galaxy whispered of New Dawn, the colony that faced the swarm with no weapons, just will, and won.